Hey, hey, all. It's me again. Woo! Uh, this day has been pretty mind-blowing. My brain is still trying to catch up with everything that's gone on this afternoon rather, because it's Saturday. I slept in a little bit. And that's only 9 o'clock. I can't even act crazy. Anyway, so I had posted on Facebook asking people, if you have a cheap vehicle, like mine is pretty much dying. My SUV started acting a fool, and yeah, couldn't get anywhere. I was praying my way home, and I was just not even half a mile away. So, maybe a mile, not even. But anyway, uh, it's been a process the last week. So this is more of just a testimony of what God can do. About a month ago, almost a month ago, my church started an unstoppable life, 40 days prayer and fasting. And so every week, like I said in my last video, we focus on a word that God is. So the first week was unstoppable favor. The next week was unstoppable faith, and then unstoppable power, unstoppable creativity, and right now we're on unstoppable future. So every week God's been showing me life situations that can be applied to that word, that whatever we're focusing on. So favor, part of this car situation, the first week of favor, I found out through my secured credit card that the company that they had originally told me a few months back that they couldn't raise the credit limit. So to help my credit score, because I'm trying to, get a house and all that stuff. And so I said, okay, and went on about my business and didn't think anything more of it. And then within just a few days of starting this fasting and prayer with the church, I got an email from this company, and they said, hey, we've raised your credit limit $1,500. Fine by me. That helps me a lot, because that will affect my credit score and make it look better. So cool, fine by man. That's awesome. Like, that's the unstoppable favor. What man says no to, God says if I want it to happen, it will, regardless of what men say. So I said, cool, God, I see you. Okay. And that was just one of the things. Like, there's usually a few different things every week that God shows me that's part of just revealing his ability, his unstoppable capability, and then thus us having that same thing. When we have Jesus in us, we have that same power, that same life within us. So anyway, we go on to faith, and then to unstoppable power, and again those weeks had different things involved, and then comes creativity, and my vehicle dies. So now I get to practice creativity in getting my kids where they need to go, getting me where I need to go, walking to the store, relying on people, asking for help. I had to get creative. Well, by this point, about a few days into that, I was having some trouble. I mentally, I was good during the day, and then this was pointed out. I was good during the day. It was at nighttime that I would start getting down in the dumps and frustrated, and start thinking too much on everything negative, and not thinking about what God has said. He gave me a word on April the 25th about a car, so I need to hold him to that, but I wasn't at nighttime. So had some truth and love, which helped immensely. And I'm thinking, you know what, God, you're funny. Like, I mean, God has a sense of humor. I don't know if you guys know this, but God does have a sense of humor. So yeah, he, allows my vehicle to decide to act a fool, and then I get to see how unstoppable his creativity is. Well, the first few days of that week of fasting, I was struggling, because I was getting frustrated. I do not like to have vehicle trouble. I've had vehicle trouble for many, many years in my adult life, and I hate having vehicle trouble. And so I decided, after, having a really good truth and love conversation, that God used that to help me and broke me to my mentality of the what I'm used to and how I'm used to thinking, and shifted it to where now I'm thinking of, what a blessing. I can walk the kids to school. They're close enough. Two of them are close enough that I can walk them to school. It gives me exercise. There's many. I can walk to Dollar General, it's just right down the road. So, I'm getting exercise. I'm feeling better because I'm getting exercise. And, there were a lot of pros to it that I was totally not focused on. So I woke up the next day lighter. I just felt completely better. And God really, helped me through that with certain someone in my life. Uh, and so, yeah, come Thursday, after looking for vehicles, I've been looking for vehicles like every day, trying to find something. I didn't want to finance anything. Like, I was very concerned that was going to affect a certain person in my life in the future. That was going to affect finding a house in the future. Like, I'm in that process while I've been paying off debt. Going back into debt for a car just about made me want to throw up. So, like, I've worked too hard to, go back into more debt. So, anyway, a lot of concern the beginning of the week. Well, so I've been looking every day, and we had been praying for a certain type of vehicle that I wanted, because obviously we need to be specific with God, and God, He knows the desires of our hearts, and He loves us just like a good parent. And when we have a desire, if I'm gonna get a vehicle now, I don't need to settle this time. So I'm like, God, this is what I want: a Honda Accord Sport Edition. Now, granted, the picture was like a 17 or an 18, but that was just, it was nice. Black in color. I think the one I had was dark blue, but hey, that's fine. Anyway, so we've been praying for that for a little while now, and focusing on that. And then come Thursday, and I forgot, I had been pre-approved through the same company that raised my credit. I've been pre-approved for way more than I ever expected. Like, I've had a lot of trouble with credit and stuff ever since. It was before Caleb was a baby or was born, and he is almost 17 years old. So yeah, for me to even see that number alone just amazed me. But so anyway, Thursday comes, I look online in this one site that I need to go through, and lo and behold, there's a Honda Accord, and I'm like, okay, it looks pretty nice. It's a little bit more than I would prefer to pay, but it looks decent. Hadn't seen this thing, so I know this was a God thing, having to get me out of my way, and letting Him be unstoppable. So I'm like, all right, well, I can't go and see this thing till Friday or Saturday. Like, Lord, if this is meant to be, it's going to need to stay on that lot. So the guy told me that it had just came in on the lot within the last few days. Only a 2-owner. It doesn't have any wrecks or anything. I mean, great vehicle. Yeah, so I get to go today. I get to see it. I actually drove my SUV there, and funny, Caleb prayed over it because, like, we need to get to the car lot in Bentonville from Springdale, and it ran probably smoother than it ever has. And it started messing up within a block of, about a mile out. It started kind of shaking a little bit, but within about a block of the car lot, it started kind of really doing what it did before. And so I'm like, well, we're here now, so we're good. So we parked it. We get to see the vehicle. They gave me, I had to negotiate with the trade-in amount, but they gave me more than what they originally tried to give me. I held my ground, like, you're going to cover something. Granted, I had to finance a vehicle, but oh my gosh, it is a black Honda Accord Sport Edition, black in color, black interior. The thing is beautiful. I am so then, not only that, but the guy comes back and says, I've ran your credit. With this being your credit score, this is what, and I said, I'm sorry, what? He said, this is your credit score, and I literally was sitting at the table weeping, because if you know me, I've been working for about a year and a half really hard on paying off debt and getting my credit score raised so that I can get a house and not have to worry about being declined on that because of a credit score. My boys were like, are you okay? Yet, no, you don't understand. Like, getting your credit score up is not an easy task. I've raised that thing almost 100 points, if not more, in the last year to year and a half. I was weeping. I said, even if I don't leave with a vehicle, I will be happy. Like, I can see now my God is blessing my obedience to do what he told me to do and paying off those that I've owed in the past. Man, I'm telling you guys, really, this was only more just to share with you, to tell you God is faithful. He's always faithful. He will always come through for you, and even in a bigger way than you can even expect or imagine or create in your best creative ability. I gotta be careful. I'm gonna start crying again. Woo, it's just, man, I now have a vehicle that will last me for years, sitting in the parking lot. Like, seriously, God is amazing, and if you let him be unstoppable in your life, he will blow your mind repeatedly with things that you never even could have imagined. Like, how all that even timed and worked correctly. There's even more to it, but this is already 11 minutes long. So I'm trying to keep it short, but like, there's just so many different steps that have happened that God was the only one that could have done that. He's the only one that could have timed that perfectly to make all that happen. So, man, God is faithful. And even when we get in our own way, if we would choose to step back and say, okay, Lord, what are you trying to show me here? What do I need to do differently? How do I need to think differently? Renew the mind. That is so important. Replace all the lies you believed over the years with truth. Allow God to dig in and clean all that junk out. You get out of your way, and then God says, finally, now I can move in a way that is going to blow your mind. Like, my mind today has hurt physically, because like, I can't take in completely yet everything that's happened today. And when you're spiritually in that next dimension of, man, like, there's just the limitless possibility now. When I saw that number for my credit score, holy crap, like, it just made me more determined to keep going. Like, now I see the blessing in the obedience. Like, now I see, God, you are moving, even though I didn't feel like you were. There were even a couple of times I wanted to give in and throw in the towel and say, screw it, this ain't worth it. But I kept going. Man, I'm telling you, if God can show up for me like this, he can show up for any one of you like that. If you just let him have his way in your life. And I know that's scary, but in a sense, because our human desire is to hold on to things and to control things and want things that we can explain away. No, God's ways you cannot explain humanly. There are no words to explain how the heck he was able to time everything the way it happened. Even with coming up with payments, like how he has brought income into my life to bring about me not having to worry about the payment even being made. Like, how in the world could that have happened without him? It couldn't, because there are too many pieces involved in this whole thing that now, oh my, like, I know, like, God led me to that place. God led me to that salesman. Hopefully he got a blessing and got to experience God in a different way, with me weeping of joy. Like, I just couldn't contain the joy that was pouring out of my eyes, because you have no idea, dude, like, telling the salesman, you have no idea how hard this has been, and where now I can have something I have never had as nice as I have sitting in that parking lot now. Never, even with my mom and dad, never had anything like this. I'm telling, goodness, man, people, God is so good. He is too good to miss. I get that some of you refuse to believe in him, but I'm telling you what, your life is much harder without him, because I promise you, even though life is hard with him, he makes it possible. He makes it hopeful. He makes it just mind-blowing in what he can do. If you just give him a moment to let him do what he wants to do. He loves you. Oh my goodness. I have felt so much love from him today in saying, Jennifer, I see you. You have done amazing. You are doing amazing here. I want you to have this, and I'm going to provide for you every way. Never think that I'm not faithful to you and that I'm not going to do it again. I did it before, I'll do it again. He's the same God right now as he was back then. I'm telling you guys, man, it has been amazing. This is almost 15 minutes long, so I'm going to cut it off now. But it's hard to put all that into a short video and know that I would do you a disservice if I didn't explain kind of some of the steps that were involved in this, because it's amazing to see how it all, over the last so long, how it all played out into this. And now I get to reap the benefits, and my kids are good with a vehicle that now is going to get them where they need to go. And it's, man, it's beautiful. I hope you guys know that God is faithful. Oh my goodness, He is so faithful. He's so good, and He loves you so much. He loves me so much. I am so thankful for Him. I mean, tomorrow at church is gonna be lit. If you look, if I ain't dancing around that building, it's just been good, and I hope you guys know just how much God means to me, but also how much He can, man, mean to you when you get Him into that. You are the Lord of my life, and I'm going to let you do what you want to do, regardless of how I feel, regardless of what I see, regardless of what doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to let you do what you do, and it is amazing. Love you guys. Man, I hope this blessed you. I hope it encouraged you to keep going, because it's worth it. Bye, guys.